Hey, hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Chef Yourself with Char, where you can go chef yourself. I've been on this Jamaican beef patty kick for quite some time now. I've got people messaging me wanting batches made. So I figured it's about time I came on here and shared with everybody how I actually make them. First of all, we're going to start off here with some ground beef. Got 1 pound of ground beef. We're going to be making 1 patch of patties today. A little bit of salt, not much. A little bit of black pepper. We're going to come in now with, I've got 1 teaspoon of ginger. You can use fresh ginger if you like. This is what I happen to have. I've got 1 teaspoon of thyme. Coming in with 1/2 teaspoon of Jamaican curry. Now you want to make sure you're using Jamaican curry and not Indian curry, okay? We want the nice earthy, bold flavor. We don't want any hints of sweetness in there. Now we've also got the Jamaican allspice. That is also known as pimento. That is different than your regular allspice. You want to make sure you're using the Jamaican allspice, okay? That really makes a difference in the flavor profile of this patty. What I have here is 1 small onion diced, 4 green onions diced, and 3 cloves of fresh garlic going in. Now I also have 2 finely diced Scotch bonnet peppers, 1 red, 1 green. I have a customer who would like to try the patties that she would like it no spice. So I'm going to go ahead and let these onions cook up, take some out, and then I'm going to add the Scotch bonnet. Now we want everything cooked up really nice and tender, so I'm just going to go ahead and add a tiny bit of beef broth here. Deglaze the bottom of the pan, help soften up the onions. And just keep cooking that off. Okay, as you can see here, everything is all cooked up nicely. What we're going to do next, I still have not added the Scotch bonnets. This is the onions, the green onions, the garlic, all the nice flavorful spices that we've added. And like I said, I just kept deglazing the pan with about 1/2 cup of beef broth, little bits at a time, just to help soften everything up. What I'm going to do now, and we get that really great beef patty texture, I'm going to come in with 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Now the best breadcrumbs for these are the finely ground ones, not the panko. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to add also about 1/2 cup. Now I've got a little extra on reserve here because sometimes it takes a bit more. You need the perfect consistency, okay? So we're going to go ahead and stir this all up. You don't want a dry beef patty. You want the center nice and moist. And that's what we're trying to go for here. So you can see that soaked it up, and it's not really moist like I want it, so I will continue adding a tiny bit of beef broth. First of all, we're going to go though and add 3 tablespoons of butter. You heard me, guys. Butter makes everything better. Okay? going to come in. That's going to help loosen this up a bit too. And just turning it down. And I'm going to add more beef broth because it's just a little dry for my liking. There we go. So think about biting into a beef patty. You don't want a dry filling. You want it nice. See how it's coming together there? Almost looking exactly like a beef patty filling should look. Check that out. Okay, that's how it should look, nice and moist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scoop out to make a nice patty or two with no heat. And I'm just going to throw the Scotch bonnets in the center. Get them incorporated into this filling. We're going to set this aside. We're going to let it cool off while we make the dough. Still a little dry. Don't be scared. We don't want it soupy, but we really just want it nice and moist. That's exactly how it should look. Exactly how we want that filling to look. We're just in the middle of chefing ourselves with some Jamaican beef patties. I've got the filling made, and now we're going to be on our second part here with making the dough. What we're going to need is 3½ cups of flour. So I like to scoop my flour, give her a little tap, scoop, okay, so that's 1 cup of flour, and I'm going to throw it in my sifter here, and we're just going to get 3½ in there, and then we're going to sift it, okay? So we've got our 3½ cups of flour here, and we're just sifting it. That's 3½ cups of sifted flour. What I'm going to do now is I am going to add in 3 tablespoons of turmeric. That's going to give that beautiful golden, beautiful yellow color. I've got a ½ teaspoon of Jamaican curry. Again, make sure you're using the Jamaican curry, okay? And we just want to sift that as well. Okay. Then I've got a tablespoon of sugar. What I like to do is just run it through the sifter one more time, just to ensure everything is all sifted together. See, as you can see, just whisking it still leaves the spices not quite incorporated properly. So I like to just make sure it's all sifted together. Beautifully incorporated flour, turmeric, curry powder, and sugar. What we're going to go in with now is 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. Now we didn't want to sift the kosher salt. We wanted it to stay nice and chunky, and that helps with our pastry to keep it really flaky. Okay, so now what we need is we need a cup of butter. And what we need to do with the butter is grate it. And grate it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour that right into my flour mixture here. Make sure you wear gloves for this part because your hands will turn yellow from the turmeric. What you want to do is you want to pinch the dough in just like you're making pie dough. You want to pinch the butter into the flour so you get little pea-sized balls of butter. flour coated butter. And that's why grating it makes it so much easier, because your butter's already pretty much, I mean, you can cut it in with a pastry cutter if you like, if that's what you like to do. But grating the frozen butter, I find, makes it nice and easy to get those little pea-sized balls of flour coated butter. Here we go. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make a little well in the center. We're gonna add 1 cup of ice cold water. Just came out of the freezer. We're gonna go ahead and pour that in. And we're gonna mix our dough. You're just gonna squeeze and pinch. Got a nice dough ball here. Look at that color. Okay. Now we're going to take this, we're going to wrap it in saran wrap, and we're going to put it in the fridge. Keep it cool for about 30 minutes.